All right. Hey everyone, this is GeForce 41. Welcome to another edition of Quick Tips. This is Quick Tip 17. And if you haven't seen my video short on YouTube yet, I have announced a change to the format in Quick Tips. I've really spent a little too much time on quick tips because they're not that quick anymore. The initial intent was to just get some quick videos out and giving newer designers advice on the courses, playing 4 or 5 holes at most, and just doing that, every so often or once a week at least. And what I've done is I've kept playing, and I've been playing like most of the course, if not the whole course, at least 9 holes, or I play the whole course and I edit it. So if your name is not Eraser Gibb, who I will continue to do 18 holes for, because he is my fellow casual golf administrator running Casuals Golf Club with me, who's starting to learn how to design and has been working hard on his course. I'm going to move to, I'm going to do 6 holes. And what I'm going to do is try to do 3 courses per video. So that's 18 holes per video, but 6 holes per course. And that will get 3 courses done in one video, right? So that was the initial goal, just quickly go through these courses. And I've gotten away from that. And so let's get back to that. So we are at Orlando Lakes, Florida. So FL is the way it's written. And this is by Metric Alloy 5903. Rick is a viewer who reached out to me quite some time ago, and we're just getting to it. So let's take a look at the first 6 holes. Obviously, we are in Florida. It is tropical kind of thing going on. You got a nice scene. Pretty picture off the tee. Not bad at all. Tree line's pretty good. Shrubbery around looks pretty cool. Hey, tee box is flat. Let's get rolling. I noticed only one set of tees. That's okay, depending on what you're doing. I don't include too many anymore myself. All right, first thoughts, lighting. I have the lighting video. We're at dusk here. I checked beforehand. You got some low light off to the left here. I don't know if that's got to be the west. On the first tee, fine. Like I said, now you got the shadows you're dealing with here. So do you really need these trees? Maybe you can take a few of these out, let the sun through. It's up to you. I like some shadowing on the course, but I always say show off your work, and in this case, it's the first hole and you kind of can't see it very well, right? So, is there anything wrong with it? Meh, not really. Can you do that? Sure. Is it the best idea? Maybe not. A little too much. Some people get a little touchy with the shadows, as we've said before. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it adds a little ambiance sometimes, but just think about that. Make sure that it's an intentional decision. I'm going to start using that word, it's intentional. Did you consciously want that scene like that? Or did you put trees in there because you wanted the trees and you didn't think about the shadows? So just think about them. Is it the end of the world? To me, no. Some people, more on the greens than the fairways, it's, eh. And your goal is always to want people to come back. Think of players as your customers, right? You want them coming back for more and playing the course over and over. That's the way you're going to get a lot of plays, and you're going to get on tours and get more plays. If it's hard to see, they don't like the shadows and the greens, things like that, they might not finish the round, or they might not play the course again. So always be thinking of that. Green looked reasonable. Okay, we go into a par 3. A lot of people are doing par 3s on the second hole. There must have been a video where somebody suggested this, because I don't like the second hole being a par 3, especially in real life. I don't like the flow. You're just getting going, getting moving, getting out there. I'm kind of the Donald Ross design theory. Play moving, get people out there. The other thing, on a public course, you can run into a bottleneck on the par 3. So, not a big deal, but somebody must have mentioned something at some point. I'm just looking at this one. Very short, narrow green. For short, yeah, you're going to have the narrow green for a short hole. It's moving away from the water. That's fine. You know, so like I said, you're more likely going to see the land moving down to the water and going that way. Um, I don't think there's anything wrong with this. The wind will make this a little trickier. I like the bridge back there. Some good planting. Be careful with the size of the plants. Textures are okay. The greens look tame. See, there you go. You got, all right, so you got that hole in the middle of a shadow. Why? Um, Look, pretty scene there. Do you need that tree? This is actually a good spot to talk about this. Do you really need that tree right there blocking the sun? Two things you can do. Make that tree smaller, still have the same effect. Make it just in between the size of the tree to the left and the tree to the right, and then you got a cute little tree line. Or just move it a little one way or the other and let the hole be out of the light. So when you're play testing these things, make sure you're looking at these. Go play through every hole multiple times. It's in the I mean, you could just very easily just or move the hole just a little to the left or the right. But what I would do here is just make that tree a little smaller, because you know, off to the side there, it's not adding as much in terms of ambiance. Um, Again, these are just conscious little things, but you should catch that on the playthrough. First hole, first pin. I'm sorry, second hole, first pin. You're already in the shadows. When you don't necessarily need that there with that big huge pine. Still have a big huge pine and have no shadow there. Let's look at the bunkering. Looks like you did a decent job of sculpting. Haven't looked at whoops, too many others. I can't get up there because I max out at 291. Some smooth mounds over there. Fairways are pretty tame. Course is pretty flat. You would expect that in Florida. You got some decent planning there around the rough areas. I'm sorry, around the edges of the water, where the rough kind of disappears when you put the water in, or you cut it down to sea level and the water comes out. So I want to talk in general now. Very understandable, of course, in Florida would be flat, but we're seeing a lot of flat courses. And I'm not going to give Rich a hard time here, but maybe we'll take a look at some of the other courses and talk more about it. But Architect Maze made a comment on one of the videos, very thoughtful, great comment. Sculpting is a number one to learn for new designers. There's just I see a lot of newer designers. Of course, there's just flat, flat, flat. Take a look at some of the more advanced designers' courses. There's just the topography is amazing, and a lot of them start with a plot or they envision a plot. All right, green again isn't bad. So make some hills, some contours, some elevation changes, and build a course around that, or pick a piece of land or that even a famous course is on, and kind of make it your own. But you see, if you start flat, it's kind of hard because then you got to just kind of continually build things up, right? So, um, and obviously we do start flat, but my point is if you start putting a course in and it's just flat, then it's going to be really hard to put elevation changes in. It's just going to be weird. So the sooner the better that you get that plot in. Um, Nice, yeah. I like the trees, the tree lines. I like the kind of foresty look. You're throwing in some palm trees sporadically and not overdoing it, which is good. A lot of people go hog wild with the palm trees. Hey, I'm in Florida. It's the home of palm trees. Strategically, again, we're pinching at 300, 290. Lots of shadows again here. I'm just going to go 3 wood. Undulations in the fairway. You've got some movement there. It's okay. So it's not super duper flat. Like I said before, the undulations in the fairway get really tricky. All right, so there's another green. There's what? Agua, agua, agua. So it moves to the agua, right? I like that. There's nothing wrong with that green. Got a few levels. Not severe tears. The levels are yellow. Not really red. Right, so I like that. Just the tier, like a little section with the yellow is what I've been tending to focus on doing. Try not to have any red unless you're doing something dramatic. Put a little planting around the pond. So I like the wooded areas. Good look. again, just a little dark with the shadows, right? So you see the shadows come into play on every hole here. You got a heroic carryover bunker. That's pretty good. That's fine. So it's almost, this is kind of prize dogleggy. Prize dogleg is a template for those non-architecture aficionados. Is that a word? Non-architecture aficionado? People who don't follow golf architecture. 226. Ooh, interesting shape green. So yeah, I like the idea here. It's a prize dogleg around the hole. If you stay out here, you can have a really long shot in. I'm not sure I like that false front here. That's meh to me on a long hole like this. Nice. I like putting the pond there. Retaining walls are hard, so that's a little kind of jagged, crooked. To make it smooth, you got to go small, the smallest ones you can, and just move it very slightly, so it looks like a curve. It is a pain in the butt. I don't blame you for a second for not taking the time to do that, but it just doesn't look super great that way. It looks amazing if you just make it small, make the next one a little bit to the right, make the next one a little bit to the right, and curve it around. It looks super awesome. Adds a lot to your design. It is hard to figure out. It took me forever. I mean, I barely ever put them in my courses till I did Carthwick. I put that huge one all the way through the course, which was a time and memory drain. So they do use meter. I'd be curious to see how the other pins play on this hole. Yeah, the greens, they move, and they're not unreasonable. So I don't have a ton of issues with the greens. Like I said, get creative with them. That's not something I can particularly teach. It's something you have to do by trial and error and playing other people's courses. Sorry about that. Back. My controller died on me. Ran out of charge. All right, let's take a look at this one. Short 4 down to the agua. 6th hole. Not bad. So the bunkers look fairly sculpted. That looks like it could deal with a little bit of sculpting. I think around the bunkers could deal with the sculpting, right? I don't think, it doesn't look like there's a lot of smoothing and sculpting around the bunkers. I'm going to take a look at the green real quick. Shortest green, a little bit of trouble behind it. So this is kind of a driving pitch. A little bit of a beach area. That's kind of hard to do. We talked about that in my last video. I don't want to take too much time, but take a look at the last video I did of, oh gosh, whose course was it? It was fantastic. Why can't I think of it? Oh, Buckhaven Golf House, Trail Ducker. Fantastic beach there. The other thing is, some of these trees, I talk about how the trees look funny. Look at that tree off to the right. It's just, there's no grass or anything around it. It just sits there and computer generated. It looks meh. So I don't know that grass would really fit this build, this design. It works for me in Northeast in these kind of wood lined courses, courses that are lined by trees and woods and things like that. But anyway, some food for thought. I just don't see a ton strategic going on. Green entrances look okay. You could smooth that out a little. Realistic feel with the water tower in the distance. Pretty view. This controller is a real pain, sorry. There we go. All right, so that was 6 holes at Orlando Lakes FL by our friend Metric Alloy 5903. I will peek at the 7th hole real quick, but I would just say, the strategy in the holes are kind of blah. Everything's kind of flat. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing sticking out at me here as glaring. You have to work on, other than to say, work on a little everything, a little sculpting around the bunkers, make the fairways a little bit more interesting, and think through some strategic designs. And again, it's tough. It's a tough call on a Florida course. They're going to be flat, but just everything's kind of flat and blah. So elevation changes lead to a lot of interesting variability on the course, and really add to the replay value. So all in, fairly solid job. This is looking pretty good, and keep up the good work, my man, and keep on watching. Thank you. All right, next up, quick tip 17, course number 2. This is White Iverson Resort by Shane Sweet. Shane has been a long-time viewer. Thank you, Shane. And I remember reviewing Shane's course. I forget what it was. I think for the rookie contest, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I am, but I've been quite busy. So here we are, another kind of tropical resort type course, obviously, from the name, but you see a whole lot of palm trees, and check out the left side of the tee box here. Pretty cool stuff off on the first hole. Set a pretty picture off the tee here. City in the background, well done. That's pretty. So I like the resort stuff off to the side in the city. I'm not a huge fan of palm trees. I think it's really hard to make those look really good, but you've done a good job of making it look decent. But I'm mad on the palm trees in this game. So, it is really hard to make it look decent. So, good job. The only thing I could say here is maybe to kind of sculpt that tree line a little bit more and kind of have it narrowing down to that one tree in the middle there. Holy cow, what do you got going on for us here, Shane? Oh, I like the bunkers. I like the coloring, and I like the brush going into the bunkers on the side. I like that on the side. Not a bad little strategic hole. Very unique and interesting because the big bombers, not on much wind, only got 2 miles an hour. People who are longer than me and the wind back are going to run into that tree just to the left of the green. Is that a little unusual? Yeah, but what the heck? Sorry, I have a controller. This is going to be interesting. Sorry. This controller that I'm using just does not work very well. It kind of hiccups on me. You pull it back and nothing happens. So you're going to see a lot of start and stops because the normal controller is out of charge and I can't charge it or use it plugged in because my microphone is plugged in. So yes, these velvety tones of my voice don't happen by magic. I have a HyperX mic that I use. Fair green, pretty scene. My play is gonna be awful, folks, because this controller is just ridiculous. Look at, I have no touch at all. Oh, I hope I don't have to redo this video. Might have keep you guys around and have you suffer through this with me. Oh my god, this is crazy. Ridiculous. Alright. I'm talking about the controller, not the course. Alright. So yeah, I like the BTs here. That plays well with the resort. You've got you've got the decorations on the tee box going nicely. Cool beach scene off to the right. Yeah, I like this. Now, I'd say Shane is a more experienced designer than most folks' courses I'm reviewing on Quick Tips. Ooh, interesting. I'm not sure I like this. Huge bunker there, huge bunker there. The beach is really good. You've done a decent job sculpting. I just don't like this green. Is just weird. Weird shape. I would just, if you'd made that curved and given a little, with the slope like that, given a little more room, I'd be good with it because I like the uniqueness. Just looks funny. I like the overall look and feel though. Actually had some touch on that putt. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I like the lighting. Obviously got some haze or fog going on there. That has to be a little bit of fog. Because it was off by the sun and not in front of me. Oh my goodness, it is so hard to putt with this controller. Maybe I'll ask Santa for a new controller. Alright, hole 3, first par 3. Really pretty scene. Alright, so we got some geometric things going on here. So maybe we're going a little CB McDonald Rainer-esque here. I don't know what's going on. But that is a unique bunker. Look at that action. And you got another tree off to the left of the green. So that's going to be a theme. I don't know. It's a little odd, but ooh, yeah. A little bit of a tear there. Oh, I pushed the hell out of that one. We're going to see how well you sculpted this bunker. So yeah, that's pretty good for a bunker, that kind of weird shape. I always have trouble with those myself. Not a bad putt. Not a good one either. So last video, last course, we were talking about the shading and the trees and the shade. See, that's not bad. It's just touching it there. But again, do you really want that shade just right there on the hole? You can move the hole over a square, or you can move that tree just over a square. I don't know. Maybe you wanted it there. I don't know. But just make sure when you're reviewing your course and you're doing your checks, you're thinking of that stuff. Does the tree need to be exactly there? Does the hole need to be exactly there? Center line bunker. Not a lot of room on either side, so be careful with these. If you got a center line bunker hazard, give plenty of room. There's room. Is there a lot of room? No. Is there some room? Yeah. Let's look at the green. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Tiered, another interesting geometric type shape green. The peak of a hill. Believe it or not, I like the way it's moving because it is the peak of a hill like that. I think that is actually flowing pretty naturally. Look at that. So I think that's interesting. This course is not dull, Shane. I'll give you that. It's a very long 4. So again, I'd be careful with that green and that unique kind of thing in the middle before the green and this length. I don't know that I'd go center line bunker here. If I did, I'd give like a lot of room here or a lot of room there. It's doable. I mean, it's not a foul. It's not a design foul. I'm not throwing a yellow flag on this one, but or make that really small is the other thing you could do. And so, like I said, I give these tips because I like redoing my courses. I'm redoing a couple now. So I look at the hole. I'm not going to make it better. I can make the center line bunker smaller. I can give it more room to the side. I like doing that. So I like this green, believe it or not. I just, with the length of this hole, I'm not quite sure. Might be a little much. We'll see how the approach comes in. I had to take a little off. Hit that hill. It's going to hold. No, see, now it's going to go up and over. It's going to be really hard to hold. That might annoy some folks. Yeah. So you might want to be a little more forgiving. So very interesting hole. Might tick off a few people. But certainly fun. All right. Fifth hole, par 5. Words of wisdom from my caddy. Again, another pretty view. So certainly visually, this is a pass. Now, this is what I mean. You got a hazard in the middle, and you got way lots of room that brings you way over here. So if you want to go for this in 2, you got this little corridor here. Again, I'd probably give a little bit more room, but whatever. And if you want to play conservative, just go way out to the right. If I was playing this for real, I'd probably be off to the right, because I don't think I could get to a 565-yard hole in 2 anymore. My days of 300-yard drives are probably come to a close, because when I hit it 300 yards, I really wouldn't hit the fairway very often. Huge green. Oh my god, it is so hard to putt with this controller. Alright, 6th hole. Look at this pretty par 3. I like this a lot. Let's see what the green looks. Oh no, this is good. I like it. I mean, actually, the last green, the last 2 greens, I was getting worried what this one's going to look like. But this is pretty cool. What kind of platformy thing there with retaining wall and a boardwalk thing. Interesting, unique, very short, and yeah, no, not a bad idea for short par 3. Kind of 2 or 3 sections here. It's more like 2 sections, but yeah, I like this. Get a lot of spin. Pushed it a little. Not going to take the spin and come back. All right. Some interesting stuff. Like the cart path that's been going around too. That woodsy area behind is really well done. Oh my god. I am blaming the controller. All right. So Shane, that was pretty cool. Those are 6 good holes. I'm gonna keep playing this one. This has got potential maybe for a Monday, Tuesday course. I think it's interesting. I just got to see if the green craziness holds up. It might not be casual friendly enough, but I like the way it looks, and it's fun and unique and creative. So might have to put it up for a vote with the other guys. Sometimes that's what I do when I'm in between. I ask Ivy Mike or Racer Gibb or somebody else to give it a play. But that's all for this course. This was White Iverson Resort, by Shane Sweet. And we will hit one more course for this edition of Quick Tips coming up next. All right, everybody. Here is course 3 for Quick Tips 17. We are at Ashley Forest Estate, NZ. This is the T version, the tournament version by the Kiwi Kid, 5951. So here we go. Looks good off the tee. Very nice lighting. Looks like we got some neutral lighting with some overcast. So that's the way to do it, folks. Check my lighting video. Talked about the lighting, and if you're going to have neutral lighting, you're going to have that sun high in the sky, have the time around midday, don't have too low of an inclination, because if you have clouds and this kind of neutral lighting, and you have low sun, etc., it's going to be too dark. So this is pretty good. I'm not a fan of the splining here, especially way up there. That looks just a little sloppy, my friend, and there's no light rough. I like the light. This is a good example why I like the light rough. I just don't like the look of this, and then it affects the playability, right? If you're in the fairway and you're 2 inches off to the left, now you're in the heavy rough with the 68% lie. If you want to make the course tough, I guess, but it just doesn't quite look right on this type of course that looks like it's got some kind of, kind of finely manicured quality to it, as opposed to like a rough links type course, right? So we're in the mountains, and here you go. Getting a close-up. Oh, my goodness. Well, hell, who needs the light rough if you got that happening on the side of the fairway? So that's a little severe. So I'd take the sculpting brush to that, my friend. So you can see the shadows from these trees are not very drastic, as we saw in the previous videos. You got that low lighting, etc. It gets pretty brutal there. Oh, it was a little strip of that must be fairway, as a kind of drop area in case you go in the drink. So that's a good idea to throw those in there. Usually it's a little bit more discreetly. Arctic Fury does that very discreetly in most of his courses. He's got a drop area hidden somewhere. The bunkers look okay in terms of sculpting. So yeah, it's just a little bit odd shape on the splines on the fairways. And hey, you gotta go point by point. I did a fairway spline video. You just gotta get down there. It's just the hard work you gotta do to make these things look good. So I like the water, I like the bridge. You got some people scattered. I didn't look at the crowd too much yet, but I'll take a look at them as we go. So decent opening hole. Yeah, you got the people in front of you there. Whoops, sorry about that, folks. Yeah, so again, just a little kind of pointy and jagged on the splining. So that's definitely something to touch up. There's just not much strategy here. Kind of same thing with the last hole. It's just kind of hit it out there. All right, might want to cut it around that tree a bit. Kind of big fairway, just a little bit uphill. Just not much happening. There's some good contours to it, though. Definitely a little left to righty slope. Take a look at the bunkers. Yeah, they look okay. Looks like they're not particularly deep. You could go a little deeper on this type of course. So the people are very scattered. So there's just a couple people over here, a couple of people over there. It looks like, it's Thursday morning at a kind of low-key event, right? But it's better than bunching too many of them. But you can definitely put a few more in if you're going down the road of... And then you got a TV camera back there. So, and there's nobody at the event. You can get right up to the ropes. Greens look okay. If you're going to go to the trouble of putting the crowds in there, you might as well scatter a few more around. But sparse is better than just too much that looks ridiculous. So let's take a look at a par 3. And we got a sheep sighting off to the side. Not sure where he came from. Hope nobody's looking for him. Got a big green. They got a big slope there, but you got the pinnable area is huge. And it kind of goes, it's a little puddly, right? It kind of goes this way, and then this way, and then does it go downhill? Is this drained? It's a puddle green. See what I mean? It just kind of drains back to the middle. Right back to the middle. Right? So if I go up here, it's okay. I mean, no, most people aren't going to notice that, but you see how it just kind of drains to kind of a puddle area. So that's what I mean about, kind of using the make them look natural kind of thing. Is it going to affect playability? No, not really. Most people going to notice that? No, not really. Is Gary going to notice it? Yeah. So that's what I do. It's just to get an eye for it after a while. I mean, some of you are probably looking at it like, does he always have to pick out these puddle greens? Why is he such a pain in the ass? But, hey. It's one of these things, what's the old saying? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Oh, the green plays perfectly fine. Oh, I like that area off to the right. That's pretty cool. See, the people are. I see. Other than that one dude's like really close. But other than that, see how that looks kind of normal and scattered. People just kind of hanging out, milling about there. That looks good. Ooh, there's a big tree right in front of me. So let's see what's happening with this fairway. You kind of want to bend it down. It's a 477 around that tree. A little much for me. Again, I don't know why people love to kind of put the trees in the way off the tee. You got to be very subtle with those, right? You have a dog leg, that's fine. But, it's not, it's right in front of me. I know that's the rough over there, and the middle of the fairway's over here, so to speak. But you do have to kind of bend one. So it's just a little, it's way too much in play if you ask me. So I would avoid that kind of thing. Again, do you have to? No. So the general sculpting's okay. You got some elevation to the greens. The fairways have some slope to them. The bunkers are sculpted decently. The greens are eminently puttable in the puttable area. Got some reds around the edges. That's fine. That was not a good putt. So I'm back to my regular controller. Okay. Oh, nice. Get a little cart over there. A little food cart. So the extras, the tea stuff looks pretty darn good. Those are some unique trees. I don't use those at all. What were they? I think those are the newer versions of... what are they? Aspens or something? I don't use those at all anymore. But it's kind of funny to see them. I don't know that it fits, but it's kind of cool. Everything's kind of green, and you got those brown trees and a red one over there. So, if you're going for a fall look, God bless you, because it's tough to pull off. I don't have the patience for it. You got to find just the right trees. Some of the fall ones look a little silly. They don't blend. Again, fairly straight putt. Looks to me like these greens were flattened a lot using a flattening brush. You just got to be careful of it. The beads in front of the hole are moving pretty evenly, but look just past it. There's like a bead that's kind of stopped. So yeah, there's the tendency is to just hit the flatten brush around the hole. Again, nothing wrong with that line, that putt, or the green. Just something to look at. See how it's everything? All the beads are moving. There's one that's just stopped. It's probably because the designer hit the flatten brush. Again, very nitpicky, but things that just catch my eye. And then, yeah, I would just use the raise and subtly. You can do a ½ inch or an inch and very subtly bring it up or down to get the beads kind of going the way you want. In the old days, I used to just keep hitting the flatten brush, and it was like playing whack-a-mole. Before I figured out to use the flatten brush very broadly, but then use the raise brush. Not bad. Snup, you use the old trick. Yeah, some people don't like that stuff around the edges that we've been talking about in this video and previous videos, and they use that little trick to get the grass to go all the way down under the water. I'm not overly fond of that look. It looks okay here. Meh. But if you want that clean cut look, that's how you do it. I forget how you do that trick. So so don't ask me. I don't foresee me ever using it, but unless you make a really kind of that polished coarse look, like a Augusta kind of thing or something. Boom. All right. So that was 6. So that makes 18 holes. So that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to take a look at this hole. All right, so this one bends a little dog leg. Just to give you some quick feedback on this, the bunker shapes look a little weird, especially that top one. But like the splining just looks very angular and jagged. So yeah, you just kind of got to smooth that out and go one by one. Tedious work, I know, but like I said, grab your favorite beverage, leaded or unleaded, crank up some music, a podcast, or put a movie on another device or something like that, and just get to it. But so that's going to be it for this video. So hope you like the new format. So we're going to try to do quick tips, 3 sections of 6 holes each. So we get 3 courses on one video. You get 18 holes of golf on the video, and I get to get 3 courses out there for the viewers. All right. So thank you all for the feedback. The comments are coming in fast and furious lately. I love it. So please, I love the feedback. I love the comments. Keep them coming. Keep the course requests coming. If there's anything else you want to see in terms of design, let me know. What else? Check out Commonwealth Country Club Newton. It's worth it. I got some historical videos coming out and some how I designed it videos coming out, and damned if I'm not going to have a playthrough out soon. All right, that's it for quick tips. Bye for now.